Hey everybody, welcome back to the property chat with me, K to the Jizo, and in this week's video we're going to be looking at a house, a 11-bedroom house that is listed on Property 24, and they say it's going to make you money from day one. So whoever is going to buy this property, whoever is going to purchase this property, they say it's more like a guarantee that it's going to make you money from day one. So our job here is simple. We're going to look at this property, then we're going to decide if it's going to make us money or not. And how are we going to do that? We're going to look at the following: the property details, location, everything, details of the property. We will do that shortly. 2, we're going to look at the bond cost. If we go to the bank and ask for money, how much are we going to pay back? And everything that's part of that bond, that borrowing of the money. And the third one, we're going to look at the red flags and the green flags. Remember, red flags and green flags are those things that are, when we look at property, we say, okay, red flags, these are all bad things about this property, so it's not good. And the green flags are those things that we look at the property and say, these are good things about the property, therefore we're going to go for it. And lastly, we're going to run the numbers. Remember what they say: men lie, women lie, numbers never lie. So let's get into the details. So I'm going to start first by looking at the advertisement on Property 24, then I'll move to the slides that are prepared so I can go into details. Okay, there's the property. It's looking like it's fenced. Security, it looks like it's there. There's some level of security in the property. And that picture 1 and picture 2, it only has 2 pictures, and it's listed for 880,000 rands, and it's 11-bedroom house. It's a house, not apartment, in Krugersdorp, and over there it's 11-bedroom and 2 bathrooms. So an ideal property with rental income of 16,800, big cash flow, right? And details: 2 houses for sale in Krugersdorp. Semi-houses consist of 11 bedrooms. The owner can take over the rentals. The owner, once you buy it as an investor, you can just take over that money, which is 16,800. 5 rooms on either side and 6 rooms on the other side. Carports, 2 carports. There's no details on the carports, so you don't know how big the carport are. And then, let's look at details. Was listed on the 14th of June 2025. There's no much details but about the property regarding the rates and the taxes and all of those. It's not here, right? And then there's point of interest. Education is close to all of these schools, which is good, because if you family and you're looking at renting this place, it's awesome. Then that's bond. We're going to go into details. So let's go back to my slide and chop it into details and see what we have. Property details, as I mentioned, it's been listed for 880,000 rands, and the market value around that area, because I live there, because I want to invest there, because I've been making my research, the market value around there, municipality market value is around 700,000 to 850. So the seller decided to list the property for 880k for a whole lot of reasons. It looked like it's inflamed. And why do they want to inflame this? Reason number 1 would be they feel like this property is making a lot of money, therefore they have to sell it at a higher price, or they are emotionally attached to the property. When they bought it, the area was doing so well. At this moment, the area is not doing well. There's a lot of things that are not going well in that space. So therefore, it's emotional selling, emotional buying, that, know what, I need to make my money. Let's look at the pictures. Let's talk about the pictures. Pictures of the property, it's only 2 of them that are taken, one from this side of the property and the other from the other side of the property. There's no pictures from the inside, so this means that we have no idea of what is happening inside the property. And that's one. Number 2 is, it looks like there's access problems to a property. So in this instance, we don't know if the property is hijacked or problems that are in the property, we have no idea. And as investors, you need to go and see the property so you can say, okay, once I buy this property, these are the renovations that I'm going to do, and then this is the estimate of those renovations. So we don't have that. 3, access problems. No access problems, man. I requested to view the property, and the agent instead referred me to another property that he has around the area, because this one has access problems. We don't know what exactly is the problem. We don't know what exactly is causing the problem. So these are things that you need to be looking at when you buying investment property. Continue property details. So the bathrooms, there's 2 bathrooms out of 11 bedrooms, and they've mentioned that it's 2 houses, one house with 6 rooms, one house with 5 rooms. So that looks like it's not going to be ideal for people, because there'll be a lot of people sharing hygiene issues. Then people will be arguing who's going to clean to the toilet whenever, however. And the next one is, it looks like this property is not even partitioned properly to be serving that number of people. So let's say it's 11 people, they're using 2 bathrooms, and let's say all the people who rented the property have partners, so it's 22 people using 2 toilets. That's going to put a lot of strain into the drainage system. Not ideal at all. Parking, there's 2 parking. They didn't mention how big the parking slots are, if it can accommodate 4 cars or just 2 cars. So we'll assume it's just 2 cars. They are small parking lots. Rental, they said rental is it's 16,800. So I took that, I divided by 11, and it gave us 1,527 rands. The owner said you can take over the rentals. For me, that's a big red flag. That's another red flag. Because once you buy the property as an investor and you say, okay, this property has tenants already, that's where your problem is going to come. Some tenants have been in property for many years. Therefore, they feel like that property belongs to them. And when you come in with your new rules, the new way of doing things, you're going to get a lot of resistance. They will block you. They will make your life a living hell. If it's me buying this property, what I normally do is buy the property, then I speak to the agent, I speak to the seller that, you know what, at this time I need to get access to property, therefore I need everybody out of the property. So when I come in, I start from a clean slate. If I need to renovate, I renovate, I do whatever that needs to be done. Right. Then once that is finished, that's when I'm going to get my own tenants with my own agents, with my own everything. Then we're starting from a clean slate. In that way, it's super easy. It's not as stressful as getting the old tenants and you continue them. Location. This is a good location for me. It's in the CBD in Krugersdorp. There's access to transportation. There's train on the other side. There's taxis to Johannesburg, taxis to Westgate, taxis to Wellersdrift, taxis to Magaliesberg, taxis to Randfontein. Transport is solid in this case. And it's close to West College. Again, it's close to industrial and factories around Leppersvlei. There's shops, there's mall in the CBD, so people are working around, they can stay at your property. And there's hospital, there's a lot of things happening in town that's encouraging people to come stay closer to work. So if that's the property that you're gonna buy, then you're gonna go street, you're gonna go nice, you're gonna go big on that property. Schools, you saw a long list of schools. The challenge that you might have is this place is close to the busy area where there's taverns, you might have noise problems, you might have security problems in the future. Let's talk about the bond. I promised myself I'm not going to do, but it happens naturally, man. It's taking forever for me to remove it. But one day it's going to happen. Okay, bond cost. The property is 880,000 rands, and we're using the current interest rate, which is 10.25, and we're looking at 20 years. Monthly repayment, that's going to be 8,638. Total once cost, it's about 65,000, 67,000. We're going to go to details in a moment. And they say gross, you need to be earning like 28,000, about 29,000 a month. Okay, so let's break down the cost, the transfer cost. Those are once-off costs that we going to be paying when we acquire this property. Moving it from the previous owner's name to your name, or to your company name, or to your trust name, whichever you're buying this property. So I went to Uber. I'll put in the website there so you can do your own calculations for a whole lot of things. It's a beautiful site. So it said total cost including VAT, it's 67,002 rand. So I'll just say 67,000, right? So we're looking at bond registration cost including VAT. That's 36,520, and that includes the bond registration cost of 26,818, bank initiation fee, that's 6,038 rands. Deeds office fee starts 1,464. The post petties, FICA, and other costs, that's 2,200. Then that's your registration. Then after registration, they need to transfer the property into your name. That, including VAT, that's about 30,482 rands. Property transfer cost, that's 26,818. Transfer duty, that's 0. Deeds office fee, that's 1,464. Petties, FICA, and others, that's 2,200. Similar to the one above. Okay, moving that along. So let's look at the rental of this property. So we're going to use the numbers that are there on advert, because we haven't made any renovations yet. We haven't made any changes. We'll take it as it is, as it has been advertised, that this one is, it's a rental property. It's going to make you cash flow from day one. So let's look at the gross rental. Gross rental is the total rental income before any expenses. This is the money that comes to you before tax, before you use it on anything. It's similar to those of us who are working. We're getting a salary every month. There's your salary before tax and your salary after tax. So our salary before, our income before tax, it's 16,800 as listed. So you're going to multiply it by 12 so we can get the year income. So it's going to be 201,600. So that total we divided by 880,000, and that's going to give us 22.9%. That's your gross rental percentage we're looking at. Now we're looking at the net cash flow. So net cash flow, now it's after taxes. So we say rental, it's rental income minus monthly operating expenses, and you pay the bond. So what are we going to be taking care of? The monthly expenses, that's going to be your bond, that is 8,638. Rates and taxes, that's around 1,100. Agent fee, we don't want stress. We want somebody to take care of the property for us as we expand our property portfolio. So that's going to be 1,618. We need to pay insurance. That's going to be about 400. Remember, you're taking the bond. The first one, you're taking the bond, and we said the bond is around 8,638. They're going to include the bond insurance, or you're going to need a life cover. So if they include the bond insurance, it's going to be like 8,800 something. But we're going to leave it like that. We don't want to complicate things for now, but just be aware of that. And maintenance, it's 1,000 rand. We want somebody to come and clean the yard and make sure that the property looks on point. Remember, if the property is maintained on a monthly basis or regularly, then you can keep the standard of the property, the look of the property throughout however long. And it's going to be a good status. Emergency, we're putting in 1,000. In case something breaks, we don't want to take money from our private private bank somewhere, borrow. We want to take it from where it's always been. Vacancy, in case there's nobody there, there's money that we can pull out and pay. So total expenses is going to give us 14,818. So we're looking at net annual income for yield, right? Rent is going to be 16,800 minus expenses, which is 14,818, and that's going to give us 1,982. We have to multiply it by 12 so we can have an annual income, which is 23,784. So this is the money after you spend on everything, on expenses. That's the money you're going to get per month, 1,900. A year is going to give you 23,784, which is not bad. But let's continue with the numbers. Net yield is our annual net income. We divide it by the total investment cost. How much did we put into this project, into this property? So net yield is equals to net annual. Remember the profit that I've mentioned in the previous slide. That's net annual. We divide it by the total investment. So our net annual is 23,784. We divide by the money that we put in this project, which is 67,000. And this 67,000 is that property, that money. That's not that property. So that 67,000 is the money that came out of your pocket and you paid for the transfer costs. So you can acquire this property. So they can move it from the previous owner to your name or your company or your trust. And we're going to multiply it by 100 to get a percentage, and that's going to give us 35.4%. And remember on this one, this net yield does not include the renovation. So we don't know how much we're going to spend on renovation because we did not have access to the property. But that's our net. You're going to make about 1,900 per month, and then the net annually is going to give you 35.4%. And our take home before we wrap it up: do your research about the area, drive in there, talk to people, go to the building, to the neighbors, speak to them about the area, so you can have a solid idea of what you are putting your money on. And do your due diligence before you invest. Exactly that, that's research. Check things out. If you need to go on to Property 24 and check in, buy the property report, that's about 100 Rand, buy it and see how many people have owned the property. The first person who bought this property, how much did they buy it for? And the next person, just like that. And then look at the price that they are selling it now to you. Go to the municipality. If you want to check if this property is hijacked, you can go to the municipality. They will check it for you free of charge. These are the things that you need to do before you put your money on. And then renovation and improvement. Please remember, if you're going to do any renovation, you're going to break any wall, you're going to whatever, you need to have plans, and those plans need to be approved. And when you building, have proper builders. Don't go shortcut, because if you do go shortcut, it's going to cost you in a long run. And lastly, can you invest in this property? That's my question for you. And if you say yes, let us know why you say yes. And if you say no, let us know why you say no. What factors are influencing your yes or your no? If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and let us know which part stood out for you, and we will see you on the next one. KG, I'm out.